Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. I am here with an amazing speaker, entrepreneur, profit coach, all the way from San Diego. We have with us Miss Susie Carter. Hello.
Hello, what's up? Thank you for having me.
Thank you so
So
much for
excited.
joining me. I'm so happy you're here because today we're going to talk about what you do as a profit coach and talk about money, which I love, love, love this. And it's so crazy for me to say this now because I used to not love it when I first started in
Right.
entrepreneurship. And I think it's so beautiful that us as women get empowered to talk about money because in the past, I know me personally, it's been a very hard topic because it brings up a lot of stuff. It can bring up a lot of positive and then a lot of negative. And I think today, as we see women that are rising in business, it's pretty interesting because at the same time, I still feel that so many women are afraid to talk about money. They're afraid what people might think. They're afraid that they might be judged. There's just a lot of stuff that triggers people when money comes up. And so, Susie, I would love for you to share with us your story as a profit coach.
Yeah,
What do
absolutely.
you
So I
do?
was the same way, right? Wasn't good at money, wasn't good at managing money, wasn't good at any of that. Like if you would have said 20 years ago, this is what I would be doing every day, I would say you were crazy because early in my youth, right? This is so embarrassing, but it's the journey. I think still 80% of women rely on their spouses, for financial guidance. And the reality is we're all educated women,
Right.
right? It's time for us to own our power in this segment. We've been coming full circle as women and really owning our power in different areas. And this is one of the last frontiers to go, wait, I want to truly own this.
Mm-hmm.
And money is a masculine energy, right? So there's that piece of it when you understand the dynamic and the energy of it to go, oh, I really need to harness this to really be totally empowered as a woman, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I'm been an entrepreneur for 25 years. I love it. I'm inside of a love-hate relationship as most entrepreneurs. And I started as a single mom. So as a single mom, I had to make money. There wasn't a choice,
Yeah.
right? There was like, I got to pay for my children. I've got to pay for shoes and clothes and daycare and school and all the good stuff that we have to do, and had no child support, right? So that was a big challenge in looking at, wow, who am I going to be around this conversation of money? And early on, this is horrible, but I was so bad at it. I would literally try to balance my checkbook. I couldn't do it. I'd close that account, open a new account. I go, I'll just start over.
Oh man, that seems all too familiar to me.
But I think when you can just share that to go, if I can do it, you can do it, right? I'm
Mhm.
not an accountant. I'm not a CPA. I am a strategist. And
Yeah,
so I look at people's businesses and see where the money is,
yeah.
right? All roads lead to money. And I don't just focus on money, we focus on the whole business, but all roads lead to money. Either you're
Mhm.
spending it or you're capturing it and you're leveraging it, inside of that. And I have made millions and lost millions, right? So I understand the ecosystem of money. And
Mhm.
what allows me to help entrepreneurs get to 6, 7, 8 figures is first understanding your beliefs about money, right? What are those core beliefs? What are our ancestral beliefs, right? What's that family legacy that was given down to me inherently about money that you don't even know that you don't even know that it's running you? And that's
Mhm.
important because I can put all the strategy in place in the world, but if you have an underlying belief system about money that you're not good enough, that you don't deserve it, that you have to work hard for it, it's going to be hard to accumulate and keep money.
Mhm.
So if I look at that and really try to understand somebody's psyche around it so that we're working on the whole person, not just the strategy. Strategy is important, and that's the foundation of what I do. But you can't just work on the strategy without working on who am I? What's my relationship? What's my significant other's relationship? What's my parents' relationship? Right? And you go, do I still believe that now? Right? As an adult woman, I grew up with there's never enough, don't ask for it. And if you're gonna get it, you're gonna work really, really hard for it. Well,
Yes.
that's exhausting.
Yeah. That
So
sounds
I
familiar
really
too.
had to reshape and create a whole new money belief system for myself to go, wait, I'm a grown woman. What do I want my relationship with money? It took me years just to get over you got to work hard for it. Like, I'll make money, but I'm going to break my back or, work 20 hours a day or, just some unrealistic thing,
Right.
and not have that quality time with my kids.
Right.
Luckily, being a single mom, I was like, wow, I want to spend time with my kids. I grew up without a mom, so I didn't have that mom relationship. So it was really important to me. So I don't want my kids not to have that experience because I'm so busy working, and I think it's a dance, right? We as women are becoming head of household. If I look at the trend inside of what's happening, and then we're not getting to spend that quality time. Well, I'm saying we can do it all. Right? We can have that quality,
Yes.
can have that lifestyle, and we can design it any way we choose. Like, wealth truly is our birthright as people, men, women, doesn't matter what denomination, doesn't matter what ethnic race, we get to choose that. Nobody's handed me anything.
Yeah.
So I grew up in a really small town and there was 9 kids, right? We had 1,200 square feet, house. We had 1 bathroom, 6 girls. That was a challenge. To go, and now, I'm in a beautiful home in Southern California. I've traveled all over the world and have made a huge impact in businesses. I'm an author of 10 books and, just have pulled myself up from my bootstraps to go, ooh, I want to create something different for myself, but more importantly for my children.
Yes.
And rewriting that legacy for my children, to not live in poverty, to not live in despair, to not live in chaos and abuse, to go, wow, I want to break the chain, right? Whatever your chain is, it doesn't have to be drama like mine. I'm just, I just use my stories because it's dramatic. And I'm willing to talk about it, right? Because money is still shame. You don't talk about money. It's not allowed in social circumstances. And even when I start working with clients, they don't want to tell me. I'm like, I can't help you unless you tell me, right? Like, so it's still this coveted secret. And women, I find, that are ashamed when they start making great money because they don't want to leave their tribe behind, their people behind, their community behind. But I know that if I'm, talking to you and I'm like, wow, you're doing this. Wow, I can do that. Oh, you're doing an 8-figure business. Well, I can do an 8-figure business. We just need to see somebody like us to go, she can do it. I can do it. Right. So I think we give people voice. We give people the courage. We give people the possibility.
Yes.
My parents didn't talk about money. I don't know about your parents, but nobody talked about it. It's this little thing that happened. Everybody knows it happens, right? And people learn consciously and unconsciously of what does money mean, which is delicious.
Right. More money, more problems.
Right.
That's what we hear. No, I just, Susie, I love this conversation so much because everything you said really speaks to me. I used to have this conversation that I couldn't be a present parent. I couldn't be a loving wife. I couldn't be all the things that I wanted to be. I would have to sacrifice those if I was going to build an empire. I couldn't be a successful entrepreneur and be a mom, a wife, a friend. I couldn't be present. I had that conversation for so many years.
Right.
And it set me back so much in life. And it set me back in really accessing my full potential. And so this is why I really wanted to have you at the summit to share your story, because women need to talk about money if we want to access all the things that we desire in our life. Money can be a tool for us to be present. And so one of the biggest topics I'd love to talk about is accessing financial freedom. Not about making millions of dollars all at once and then not knowing what to do with it, but financial freedom means, for me, learning how to be savvy with your money so that you can take time off when you need to go and be a mom, when your kids have an event and they're traveling. I know that my parents, traveled with me playing sports. Like, they've never missed a basketball or a softball game. And I told myself that it was because of their their career, their situation. And then if I was going to be a successful entrepreneur and want to make money, that I couldn't do those things. I would have to sacrifice that. So again, I just love this conversation because I think it really gives women permission that you don't need to work harder. You don't need to make sacrifices. We hear so many times, like, I've heard so many stories of entrepreneurs missing birthdays, like kids' birthdays, because they had to go to work. And that was something that turned me off because I never wanted that for my kids. I wanted to be there for everything.
Right.
And so I think we get to reinvent this conversation around what it means to be a female entrepreneur and how to access financial freedom, how to be money savvy so that we can be present.
Right. I think when I look at strategy, right, because of accessing financial freedom, and I really say wealth, wealth is your birthright. It's all around me in my office, it's just keeping it present. So, because wealth is not just money, but it's the wealth, like you're wealthy because you can go to birthday parties and you can go to your kids' sports events and you can go, today I'm going to stop at 3 because maybe I worked late 2 nights ago or whatever it is. So for me, wealth and abundance is about creating a lifestyle. Money is a piece of it, but it's really creating that lifestyle of how do I be the most amazing mom and the most amazing wife and the most amazing partner and friend and, take care of me and my own spiritual path and my own spiritual journey, right? We have a tendency as women to leave something behind, which is usually ourselves. To go, oh, I can take care of all these other people. And then at the end, we're fried, we're tired, we're bankrupt, emotionally, physically, just, I gotta, either I gotta have a glass of wine, tapping out, to go, oh, that's not true wealth, right? Wealth is really creating a life. And that's what I love. And what I've always loved about being an entrepreneur, I'm a serial entrepreneur, is the freedom to create my own life. Now, I didn't do it right. I'm just gonna, I'm not sitting here from my mountaintop. I do what I do because I did it wrong. And I do what I do because there wasn't anybody like us saying, let me show you a way. Let me show you how to do this. Let me show you how you can make money. And let me show you how to be a mom. And let me show you how to, put balance in your life. And let me show you how to put you first. And from doing it all wrong, right? From missing events to, trying to fly home and rush to an event, just cramming my schedule so full, going like, this isn't working. Right. I'm exhausted. I'm not a good mom because I'm tired and I'm grumpy and don't want to and drinking too much because that's when I feel relaxed. Let me have a shot of wine. It's like, I'm not really enjoying this glass of wine. To go, oh, let me really step back and go, what's the priority? Because I think we do get into the hamster and the wheel thing. Yeah. And you have to have women. I believe women, right? I want to learn from people that look like me. I want to learn from people that get our challenge because our challenge is different than in a man's world. And I love men and I love my men and I love what they do in the world. But there's this thing that we could get to do together. And I think right now in our society, we as women are being more vulnerable and open and saying, let me help you. Let me show you what I didn't do right so that you can do it right. I don't want you to make the same mistakes. You can make mistakes, but don't make these mistakes, right? And a lot of that is around money for us to go, wow, if I figure this out, that gives me freedom to figure this other stuff out, right? Because now I can put my kids in daycare so I can go to yoga. Now I can put my kids in daycare so I can go to the summit. I can afford to have somebody come in my home, whatever it is, right? I can afford to have someone come clean my house so I can work with a client, like whatever the thing that has you feel prosperous, which all stems from, and most people hate this word, and I'm going to say it, and you're going to think I'm saying a dirty word, and you don't want to hear this word, but it is the key to your success. Are you ready?
I want to hear it.
I know. Give me the dirty word.
You going to curse?
Budget. Right? To go, I live in a budget. Right? I live in a budget of prosperity. To go, here's my plan. So I create that. As entrepreneurs, we create it. You get to decide how much money you want to make or how much money you don't want to make. And then what are the actions that support that? So the budget just says, here's my plan. And then the action supports that plan. Yeah. But see, we resist it as women and people and go, don't micromanage me. I don't want to know. No, we want to know. Because inside of knowing, there's power. Inside of knowing is your personal breakthrough. Inside of knowing is your responsibility. Inside of knowing is you reclaiming who you are as a business person, right? It's money and your financial strategy is just one validation that you're doing the right thing. Just one. It's not all, right? But it's a big one to go, this is worth the sacrifice, right? Now I can take my family on a vacation. Now I can, I can go work out. I can go to a retreat. I can pour into my soul. I can take care of my husband differently than women 50 years ago, right? There wasn't that exchange, and there is a power shift that's happening inside of our culture as women. How do you deal with that? How do you deal with making more money than your man? Like, wait a minute. And that's a huge issue right now for business women, is to go, I'm making more money than my man. And even me, I have an old belief system that my man's supposed to take care of me. Like, where did that come from? But it's real. It's that generational, that legacy belief system that I adopted from my mother and her mother and her mother that has nothing to do with my life, but it's real to go, right. Oh, am I belittling him? Am I unconsciously, not on purpose, to go, wow, I need women talking about this, to go, how do we own our greatness and not emasculate our men? And not, because they're great men. They're amazing men. We just are doing something different that's creating abundance for the family. To go, wow. But no one's talking about it.
No one's talking about it.
Yeah, let's talk about it, to go, because it is challenging. Because I don't want to play small inside this conversation, because I still want to be a giant, but I also don't want to make him feel weak or, to go, well, how do you balance that? So I'm not emasculating, that I am empowering both, right. And I'm a little more seasoned, so I have a little more experience.
I love this. I love this conversation, and I could probably talk to you all day long about this. And I think, really what I'm hearing from you is, I think we're redefining a lot of the standards that we see today that are holding women back and also holding men back, because we got to work together. It's not just about women, even though the summit is a women's only event, but it's really like, let's create this conversation and redefine what it means to be masculine and what it means to be feminine, and really own all parts of our own personal energy and our personal greatness. Let's not dim our light because it's too masculine. I might offend somebody. Let's access these tools so that we can live at our highest potential. And, just because, I make a lot of money, it doesn't mean that I'm a bitch or I'm a, and so there are so many standards that are set, and again, people are afraid to talk about it because they don't want to lose friends. They don't want to be judged. They're not sure what their spouse will think. Well, let's at least start this conversation. So,
right. I've learned so much about sitting at a table with powerful women, just talking about, well, how do you guys handle that? And how do you guys handle this? And how do you handle executive bonus plans? And how do you get where you can pay yourself more without paying taxes on that legally? Right. And how do I leverage my husband's, working in my business? Like, what can I do around that so that I'm saving more of my wealth versus paying IRS? And I want to pay the IRS my fair share. I totally do every year. And I actually love it. And I actually say a prayer every time I do pay taxes or any other bill, because it's the law of reciprocity, right? It's going to come back around to me. To go, let me give this out and more will come back to me. Yeah. Versus resisting it and getting mad after pay taxes. Well, I did really well. So I want to celebrate that, and I want to be smart and leverage and not pay more than I have to. But definitely it's just a piece of the pie that you go, oh, let me just plan for it.
Happy with it.
Right. Most of us are reacting to it like, oh my God, I pay taxes. Well, it's not a surprise. It comes every year, every quarter, every day, every month, like however you leverage it, right, to go. It's not a surprise. So I like to make money fun, because I think money is math. Math is money and money is fun. Because when you can make it fun, then you're not afraid of it. And I like to take this complicated conversation called money and strategy and relieve the stress in it. Right. So I share stories about my own ding-dongness of, learning how to play this game called financial wealth, from my mistakes to my, my victory periods, from, selling millions and millions of my business for millions and millions of dollars to losing millions and millions of dollars, right? There's a humbling path in there, but inside the humility is where I learned that I do know how to do this, right? Because it's not enough to do it once. You have to do it over and over and over again. And to go, oh, like I remember, Megan, that on my, when the market crashed, it was 2007. And I'd sold my business for millions a couple years before, and I didn't have to work. And I was heavily invested in real estate, and I had a lot of money in the stock, so I was set. And then the market crashed. And inside the market crash, I crashed. I crashed not only financially, but I lost my marriage of 20 years. We couldn't sustain, money's masculine, and he couldn't be with that. He lost our fortune. It wasn't him, right? It was us. It was a joint conversation, but it's masculine. And he was like supposed to be protector provider. So he literally ran away to Singapore. And so my marriage of 20 years gone, my real estate assets, my dream house, I just remember being on the floor, on my knees, crying. Like, why? Why? I've been a good student. I've been disciplined. I had coaches. I wasn't willy-nilly. I wasn't irresponsible. And I wasn't like mad at God. I was just like, why? I don't understand. I've been such a good student, right? Just kind of irritated.
Yeah.
And I heard this voice that said, I will never leave you and I will never forsake you. This will be your biggest victory and your biggest lesson. Get up. And I get chills every time I
got chills.
I'm like, right, pull up my big girl panties. And the voice said, you know what to do. Get up. And I'm like, I do know what to do. I do this for free all day long, right? Because I'm like, I don't have 20 years to rebuild this, right? At that time, I was 40. I'm like, I don't have 20 years. Like, it won't take you 20 years. You didn't know you're hiding from a hole in the ground when you first started. Now you know the system, the strategy, you know what you have to do. It's not like you're, just fresh off the boat going, where do I go? What do I do? So in a relatively short amount of time, about 7 years, reaccumulated my wealth by just following the principles of finances, putting that budget together, putting my head down, saving more than I spend. I was saving 60% of my income, to put back to be able to accumulate quicker, right? And really leveraging tax advantages, and went right back into real estate and invested in real estate. I'd done really well in real estate in the past, but I was letting this one period shut me down. Go, oh, no, I've done really well in the past. I've made millions in real estate. Like, that was just an anomaly and the perfect storm inside of our country. And, with the government shutting down and the stock market crashing, and going, oh, I was buying the hype. I was buying the fear. I was listening to everybody else versus going, wait, what do I innately know?
Right.
I innately know how to do this. Yeah. And I had an amazing girl tribe, right? My girlfriends picked me up when I was down. My girlfriend said, I forgot who I was. In your darkest time, you truly forget who you are. Like, I'm like, who's going to listen to me? I've lost all my money. Nobody wants to listen to that person. Like, just, having a real pity party. But all that fear and darkness and scariness that we all have, right? We all have that voice in our head. We all have that smallness that creeps in. Can I really do this? Am I a fraud? Are they going to find out? Like, whatever. And I realized I just have to tell people. Because if I tell you I went bankrupt, and if I tell you I lost millions, but I also got it back, that brings me more credibility, and then there's nothing to hide.
Right.
Right? I think we as women, we're protecting, we're hiding, we're defending. And there's really nothing to protect, nothing to hide, nothing to defend. Like, you're beautiful in your imperfection. Yeah. Right? We're perfectly imperfect. And that's what gives us how we learn. That's what gives us the texture of a person to go, ooh, let me contribute to you, Megan. Like, look, don't do that, do this. Right? Let me show you. Let me show you from how I did it wrong, and let me show you how I did it right. All those times that you fell down, you have bloody knees and bloody elbows. Those are the things that make you the powerful woman that you are. It's, are you willing, Megan and everyone else, in that moment when you have the bloody knees and bloody elbows, to get back up? Or will you stay on the ground questioning, why me?
Right.
Why?
Mm.
To go, okay, find your girl tribe. Like what I love about the summit is total girl tribe. And we're all the
Yeah.
same. We're all the same, but different, right?
Right.
To go, oh, this is the, it's like we're the lost unicorns coming together. Like, we can put our horns on. Here we are.
I'll have to get unicorn hats for everybody. Yeah, so let's talk about the summit, because that really is what it's all about. You can't do your business alone.
Right.
Yeah, and I've tried, and it didn't get me very far. And the minute I started leaning on my girl tribe, on my community to empower me where I needed support, is when everything started shifting. And that was part of the birth of Soul Success, is rather than feeling ashamed, like you have to hide in the corner, like you have to compete, let's lock arms, let's tell our stories, and let's elevate together, because we all have unique gifts that we can share. And at the summit, you know, we have you as a profit coach, we have lawyers, we have best-selling authors, we have CEOs, we have psychologists, so we have women from all over the world with all different backgrounds coming together to unite and lock arms. So if you would like to join Susie in Santa Barbara at $100 off your ticket, you can enter the code Susie Carter, which is SUSIECARDER, at checkout when you go to www.thesoulsuccesssummit.com, and you can join us for this beautiful weekend of mastermind, business development, yoga, meditation. We have a wine reception, healthy food, and again, girl tribe to lock arms and do the damn thing.
What I love is all the side conversation, all the side business that happens outside of the classroom, right? That's where some of the juiciest relationships are built. And I'll say you will create friendships that will last a lifetime.
Yes.
That you'll go, oh my God, remember we met at this event. Like, it's hard as businesswomen to find that right network to go, where am I going to find my unicorn, my other unicorn? I don't need a lot of unicorns. I just need one.
Well, yeah, and it's not just an event, and that's what we really want to impress upon people is it's a journey. And you know, in our Facebook group, everyone's super engaged. Last event, we had women coming out, hiring each other, having their best months ever, and still to this day, posting in our group and sharing with us their wins. So again, it's not just an event. It's a journey. And it's a tribe of women who are going to support you in your path. So we hope to see you guys there. If you have any questions at all, please reach out to us. And Susie, if people want to get a hold of you, what's the best way that they can contact?
The best way to get a hold of me is just go to my website, susiecarter.com, and that's with a D, CARD as in delicious, ER.
I love it.
You know, awesome. I have a lot of freebies there, you know, but I would love to meet you in person and love to hug you and love to share stories, right, of your journey and be just a support to the tribe, because I think it's going to be a powerful weekend.
Yes, it will be. Beautiful. Thank you so much. I can't wait to see you in Santa Barbara.
I can't wait to see you either. Thank you, Megan. I appreciate it.
Have a great day.
You too. Bye.